Hi, mister. How are you? My name is Daniel Flores, and I am going to present you my lesson plan number 2. The topic is zero conditional, real conditions. The objective that I used during the lesson plan are the following. First, listening. Listening objective to me was understand what a real condition is. The listening objective is understand what a real condition is. The speaking objective was ask and answer a question using zero conditional because they got to practice. That's my objective at the moment of speaking, that they can express themselves. Reading. The reading objective is that recognize the zero conditional in a paragraph because they will be able to understand what they are reading in a book, in a paragraph, in whatever place they are reading something. Okay? In my writing objective is that they can form statements in zero conditional. The next part of my lesson plan was my methodology and strategies. My methodologies that I used was, one of them is flipped classroom high tech. Again, as I told you in the other lesson plan, it's students do problem solving exercise in class. That's what it means. Okay? The other methodology that I used was the student-centered approach to learning. That means that the students assume a much more active role in the learning process because it is important that students have an active role instead of the teacher. The teacher just is a guide. The students have to move the class. Okay? I mean, not like moving wherever they want. No. We are in charge. We guide them, but they answer, they want to participate, because that's why I use this methodology, student-centered approach to learning. One of the strategies that I used was anticipation guide develop. That means that students think about what they already knew about the topic. So they think before me as a teacher present the topic. Okay? And the other strategy that I used was that they are used to demonstrate knowledge of a concept. So they have to keep in mind or think about what are they going to learn. The anticipatory set was, for me, is write the first part of that some conditional sentence. Just write the first part. On the whiteboard soon. Whiteboard soon is one of the tools that I used a lot during these online classes. Then have the students work together. So I help them to try to make the funniest or most interesting ending for the sentences. So I write the first part of the sentence, or condition conditional sentence, and they have to think about a funny ending, okay, or an interesting ending, okay. This is what they catch their attention. This anticipatory set will catch their attention to the next part. The next part, the main teaching input, was play a video that contains the zero conditional explanation. In the video, it's a clear video that in a simple way it's explaining what is a zero conditional. Okay? Then write the questions on the whiteboard. I write a question on the whiteboard. When I say whiteboard, I mean the whiteboard of Zoom. When the question is, when people get angry, they don't know what to do with their anger. This is the question that I write on the whiteboard. So the students will see that question and then I ask, is present or future simple used in the sentence? After making that question, I again ask, what tense is used after when? Okay? And the teacher elicits answer from the students. Focus students' attention. Focus student attentions. It is important on meaning the zero conditional that is used to talk about general situations or something which is always true. Okay? This is the main teaching input. Now, let's talk about the modeling part of my lesson plan. Okay, the modeling part, I ask the students what they notice when and doing the question, what did you notice about how I made a zero conditional? Okay, I listen at students' name what they realized, and I review if they missed the grammar talk. I taught to get through the tough part. This is what it will help me to identify if there is something that is unclear. In the next part, the guided practice of my lesson plan was the following. Present on the screen of Zoom. You know that I will always use this part during my lesson plans. And they will, in order to practice with students and let them write, they will write the answers of each exercise on screen. So I will be able to see what they are writing on the screen. Okay? Because it is important to let the students to apply what they are learning. This is the way. Learning by doing. Okay? And this activity will be more challenging if the students try to do it by their own. Okay? But always at the beginning of a practice, they got to receive the teacher's guide. And after receiving the teacher's guide just for 2 exercises, maybe, the rest of the exercise, they can do it alone. Now, in the next part, the independent practice, I give instructions. I give instructions. Students write down the two parts of the zero conditional sentence, conditions and result. And after writing that in their notebooks, they got to click in the link that I previously sent to them by direct message of Zoom. And after sending them, they got to complete. Students have to complete the exercise, okay? And always, they've got to make a screenshot of the result and send them back to me in order to measure the knowledge learned. I always apply this because I will realize if they are making some mistakes or where they are making mistakes, so I can work in that specific part. That's why I always prefer after doing the exercise, after they do the exercise, they got to send me the screenshot of the result, because this is the way to receive the score or the grade. The next part is the assessment. I tell students to write on the whiteboard again of Zoom just one sentence that contains the two parts of the zero conditional, which were the conditional result. And I asked them to complete their ideas. Okay? So they got to show to the class a sentence with these two parts of the zero conditional and explain it to the class. And it doesn't take too much time to do it. Next, and the last part of my lesson plan was the closing review and follow-up. The closing review was, first, they review quickly before ending the class. First thing, congratulate students. It is important to always congratulate them because they feel confidence at the moment of doing an exercise. And because when it's a new topic, they always think that the topic is difficult. But while they are practicing, they will change their minds, okay? Then ask them to tell me in their own words how zero conditional is used, because I want to know what they think about the topic and what kind of this situation describe. If they don't know how to express, I make this question: what kind of situation does it describe? What tense can we use to form it? Okay? These questions are for helping the students to express. And students create a few more silly examples, just few more examples before leaving the Zoom session. Why not ask them what will happen if they do their conditional homework perfectly, or what will happen if they forget all about it? These questions will encourage them to do their best in the class. This is the lesson plan number 2 about zero conditional real conditions. I hope that you like my lesson plan, and this is it. And thanks for paying attention. Thank you. Take care.